Civilization is a game that has evolved a lot over the years. Some franchises, like Halo and The Sims, keep the fundamentals, but Civilization 7 is at times unrecognizable, even compared to games halfway through the franchise. A lot of big systems have changed, but also a lot of small stuff. Many features that were mainstays early in the franchise, or that were beloved by fans, have fallen by the wayside. The franchise lately has made an effort to appeal to mass audiences, especially with the console ports. This is good, but they've lost some goodwill with fans. The features I'm talking about today are some easy, low-effort ways to please the crowd. So let's hear them. What old features should be brought back in some later installment of Civilization? Today, I have 8 of them for you. Number 1. The live-action advisors from Civilization 2. The 90s were a weird time, in a way. They weren't really sure what to do with video games as a media format, and I think the whole trend of cinematic platformers is proof of that. But when that weirdness came to Civilization, we got this.
Would you make peace with our enemies, Lord, or would you stick their head upon a pike?
Incredible. Not really useful advice, but these clips added personality, humor, and made the game feel so much more alive. Brad Howard, in particular, the defense minister, I don't know how much they paid him, but it wasn't enough. He also apparently played an ogre in the 1997 Magic the Gathering game. What a fucking king. The budgets are now bigger than ever. In Civ 4, they had Leonard Nimoy reading the tech quotes, and that was a huge hit, so in follow-up games we had Sean Bean and Gwendolyn Christie. Aside from maybe making the franchise appear a bit too Hollywood, everybody likes this. I'd like to see one game where they go buck wild and bankrupt themselves. Let's have Amy Lee Wood play Queen Victoria. Let's have Rami Malek play Ramses II. Anybody but Ryan Reynolds. Let's have John Wayne play Teddy Roosevelt. Wait, what? Okay, I've changed my mind. I don't want to see John Wayne. Number 2 is the palace building minigame. In older Civ games, once you reach certain thresholds, this would beckon you into a separate screen and ask you to make changes to your palace or your throne room. This feature kind of reminds me of bonfires from Dark Souls. They serve a gameplay function, sure, but they're also a chance to take a break and reflect on what you've accomplished. They're kind of similar to Wonder movies in that way. Now, I've memed on this a bit in the past. My whole issue with it is the pop-up comes 10 times a game, and you can't turn it off. But in Civ 1, the palace game is there, and you actually can turn it off. So they could just bring this back. Maybe they could tie in Great Works slots, Era Score, or maybe Mementos. The systems are already there for them to bring it back. Era Score actually serves a similar purpose. It's purely cosmetic, and it congratulates you on your progress throughout the game. Hold on, one sec. Hello?
Hey, Swade.
Oh, hey, I was actually just talking about Civ 6.
Really?
Yeah, I'm comparing Era Score to the palace building game, because they're both cosmetic features that don't have any gameplay effect.
Are you serious, Swade? Era score is really important.
It is?
Yeah, what the fuck, man? Getting the first golden age can make or break your game.
Getting a golden age does what? Oh my god, let's just move on to number 3. Number 3 is changing leader art throughout the ages. Playing Civilization requires a little bit of suspension of disbelief. Why is Lincoln wearing a suit in 3000 BC? Why does America even exist in 3000 BC? You kinda just have to roll with it, and it would be better if the game made some effort to meet you halfway. I want to see Alexander the Great look like Buddy Holly. I want to see Montezuma look like a middle-aged woman chairing the board of a multinational NGO. I want to see bald Joan of Arc. All of these examples existed in Civ 3, and it was wonderful. Nowadays, I'm sure people would nitpick the details of the individual leaders, but I think if they just got weird with it, instead of putting everybody in suits, it would kick ass. Maybe this wouldn't work for a mainline release, since nowadays they have to do a lot of custom animations for each leader, but if they make a mobile game, it couldn't hurt to just toss this in there. It cannot be worse than whatever the heck this is. Number 4 is from Civ 4, and that's joining great people to cities. I have this thing where I know I should use them for a golden age, but I just yearn to join my great people to my cities. Have my great merchant start an artisanal baguette shop or something, I don't know. It's good when great people can do multiple things. It's bad when you get a great person and everything it does is shit. Yes, half of the Great Admirals in Civ 6, I'm looking at you. So I don't know why they took this out, it's just so satisfying stacking them up, especially when you have other abilities to add to their effect. If great people exist in the game, this should be an option, full stop. Number 5. Bring back Hotseat Multiplayer. Some of my favorite gaming memories from my childhood were playing Heroes of Might and Magic 3 via co-op Hotseat. Did we ever make it past the second week? No. Was it the most exciting thing that you could possibly imagine? You betcha. Since I've had this channel, people have sent me stories about Hotseat games that they've played to completion with their dad or with their sister. You can tell by the way that people talk about them that these games are really special, worth more than 100 games against the computer. And I think this got left behind when they released Civ 7 in a hurry, especially with porting it to consoles. So allow me to be the millionth person to say this, but this is an essential feature, we still need it. Okay, number 6. Hotkeys for movement. I love the hexagons, but not more than I love using the numpad. Having the choice between the mouse and the keyboard for movement adds a lot of flexibility and convenience to your play experience. I know that this is possible. If they arrange the hexagons like this, the default binding could be to these keys. It's an accessibility issue, honestly, in the sense that I can still play Civ when I'm too drunk to use a mouse. Quick movement is really important in multiplayer Civ 3. I didn't even know that these existed, but some players use external numpads, with one player who will remain unnamed using the most cursed setup that you could possibly imagine. Point is, keyboard movement is important to Civ, and what's sad is that they seem to be moving away from this. They've removed the ability to turn off movement animations in Civ 7. They want us to experience the game at a relaxed pace, and how dare they? Who do they think they are? Scott Joplin? I will consume their product as fast as I gosh darn want to. And there's nothing they can do to stop me, except bringing back the palace screen. That would make me take a few seconds to contemplate life. But if they really want to slow down my games, you know what they need to do? Number 7. Make bigger maps. This has been going on for a while. Although I do like fast games, I also like a big map that you can just get lost in. This peaked in Civ 3, but Civ 7 has decided to shrink things a little further. Large and huge maps have just been removed. It's not even a choice for players anymore. A lot of other factors are downstream from this too. AI right in your face at the start of the game? Map's too small. The islands are shaped like rabbit droppings? The map's too small. They removed the ability to have suicide boats? Well, they had to. The map is too small. I think this is a simple request. Embiggen the map. Stop having the map be small. Number 8 is releasing the game when I was 10 years old. This was something that they used to do earlier in the series. I feel that this was a key ingredient in what made the franchise good, and it significantly boosted my enjoyment of the game. But nowadays, it feels like with each subsequent entry, they're moving further away from a game that I could play after school when my sister was hogging the Dreamcast. You see the trend clearly in this graph on screen. Civilization 7, which aged me by 15 years, feels light years away from how the series used to be. If they could accomplish this on a shoestring budget in 2001, I think that with Civ 7's massive budget, they could easily afford to make this change, and have it come out when I was 10 years old. Okay, that last one was very clearly satire, but let me leave you with a closing note. I know that a lot of these things were left in the past for a reason, and it's likely that we're never going to see them again. But that's all the more reason to cherish the older games in the franchise, preserve them, and celebrate their legacy. But seriously, bring back Hotseat Multiplayer. That's all for today, everybody. Please leave a like or subscribe to the channel, it really does help. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next time.